Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, brothers and sisters. If we look at the events in Kashmir, in Burma, China, or whether it's the Central African Republic, many point out that what we are seeing are genocides in the making. Now, subhanAllah, there are those who reject this view and point out that there's no genocide being committed. However, brothers and sisters, do we think that genocides occur overnight? SubhanAllah, there are actual stages that lead up to a genocide, and I want to go through the 10 stages that lead up to a genocide, inshallah ta'ala. So what we have stage 1, which is classification, where people are divided into us and them. Stage 2, symbolization, where people are forced to identify themselves. Stage 3, discrimination, where people begin to face systematic discrimination. Stage 4, dehumanization, where people are equated with animals, vermin, or diseases. And stage 5, organization, where the government creates special groups, whether it's from the police or military, to enforce the policies. Stage 6, polarization, where the government broadcasts propaganda to turn the populace against the group. Stage 7, preparation, where the official action to remove or relocate people begins. And then we have stage 7, persecution, where beginning of murders, theft of property, trial massacres occur. And then we have stage 9, extermination, where we see wholesale elimination of the group. It is extermination, brothers and sisters, and not murder, because the people are not considered human. And then we have stage 10, denial, where the government denies that it has committed any crime. Now, brothers and sisters, can you see any of the stages of genocide that I mentioned occurring in the Muslim lands? It's time we woke up, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, because, especially those of us living in the West, as we're kind of living in a bubble. But subhanAllah, trust me, that bubble is going to burst, is going to pop. In fact, it's already burst for many of us. But ultimately, some of us, unfortunately, will get a rude awakening because, we ignore the signs, the clear signs that are in front of us. Just think about it. There are some stages of genocide that, we can even find here in the West, the so-called home of human rights and freedoms, where there is one rule for one and then another for a Muslim. So brothers and sisters, we have to really start taking an interest with what is happening to the ummah, because we must remember that subhanAllah, we are one ummah. This means that, we can't get comfortable here and ignore what is happening elsewhere, because subhanAllah, I'm telling you, even if we were the ones that ignored what was happening elsewhere, when it comes down to it, they'll come for us purely down to the fact that we profess La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So brothers and sisters, we need to become part of the solution. Yet I'm telling you, if we stay idle and ignore the realities concerning the ummah, our ummah, we actually become part of the problem. So if there is a genocide, elsewhere tomorrow, subhanAllah, brothers and sisters, we shouldn't be surprised if it arrives at our doorstep, Allah forbid. So these are just a few words for us to ponder about, brothers and sisters, because at the end of the day, what we see clearly in the ummah today, sometimes we take it lightly, we just continue with our life, but subhanAllah, we have a role, we have a part to play. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.